At the notary in Malacato signing a debt note, letter de cambio, for a client for a deposit. Oh, what happened there? This is Malacato's behind me. These are like quiet little towns. The notaries in Ecuador, it's it's not common law system here. It's Napoleonic code. So the notaries are like more powerful than judges. They are above the judges. Notaries are, you kind of do everything at the notary, and they're big shots. All right, what is today? Wednesday morning. I'm headed to Loja. I'm a little late, as usual, unfortunately. Such is life when you got a bunch of kids and a bunch of stuff going on sometimes. And yeah, I'll be headed out to my property. I hired a new person to oversee some projects we got going on there. We've got some tomate árbol growing. We've got about 50 beehives, and we're in the process. Pretty soon we'll be putting in the road and then expanding our agriculture on that property, expanding our agriculture operations, all organic, pretty significantly. Got some beautiful microbial bacteria type stuff that I bought that's going to help sort of balance the soil. It's a really cool new system that people have come up with about organic agriculture. It's like better than permaculture, better than all that kind of stuff. So I'll be headed out to do that this morning, and then sort of rushing to Vilcabamba to learn about the DeFi world. If you guys are not aware, it is fascinating. Where basically, I don't know much about it, I'm just learning, but I got a buddy who's like deep in it. He's going to teach me about it today with a business partner of mine. We're thinking about using it to fund some of our projects, but you put your money basically into crypto, and then you borrow against the crypto. And then a lot of people are getting paid huge amounts of money to borrow money, believe it or not, because they're trying to attract capital into the crypto. I believe that's how it works. I was listening to a video about it this morning, trying to do a little work on it before I learn more today. But it's really an interesting story. And then probably meet with Ryan a little bit this afternoon. So I'll be in Loja, Vilcabamba, and I will take you guys along as best I can. So cruising into Loja on a cloudy, rainy day. And I was talking a little bit about investment opportunities, or investments I should say. Let me give my thoughts there real quick. So gold, silver, first of all, the dollar's in trouble, folks, if you don't know that. At some point, the amount of printing they've done going back to 1972, but really going back to 2008, and then again more recently, mathematically dooms the dollar at some point. Hyperinflation will hit, could have deflation first. We'll see how it plays out. But the dollar's in trouble. So if you have assets that are dollar-based assets or paper assets, I would, that would not be my choice. And I really include U.S. real estate in that. When I was leaving the States and making plans to leave the States and get out, I had a really successful investment model in Brooklyn for real estate. And I was kind of on the verge of some big things, and I was already doing well and all that sort of stuff, and I liquidated everything and got out. And really, like, the thing that made me go that route the most is I said to myself, all right, let's say there's an issue with the dollar, or let's say there's an issue with the debt market. So let's say we don't have functioning debt markets. What are these properties worth that I think are so sweet, with no functioning debt market? This $1 million property, $2 million property, whatever it is, which is not a lot of money in New York. Not an expensive property in New York. What is this property worth if no one can finance the purchase of it? Not much, right? Not much at all. And so, because if you go back to just supply and demand for housing, there's no shortage of housing in the U.S. And so everything in the U.S. is done through financing, through bank loans, through mortgages. And as long as those debt markets are functioning, those prices are going to continue to rise. And we've seen, massive price increases here, and that will continue as long as the merry-go-round continues. So that's, yeah. So, real estate in the U.S., I view that as a paper asset levered to the debt market. And obviously stock market, bond market, there's a massive debt bubble right now. I'm putting out a couple of videos on investing, on my thoughts on investing in Ecuador as well. You can check out on the channel, but massive debt bubble. So yeah, so where do you go in these sorts of times? You go to gold and silver. You go to farmland. I think crypto is a really interesting story as well. And so yeah, I came to Ecuador, took whatever capital I had, put it into land here essentially. And then I've started. Have been investing over the years here in various, development projects and other stuff. But just as far as, wealth preservation, capital preservation, safety, I'm a big fan. Yeah, gold, silver, farmland. Even farmland in the U.S. is okay, a lot better than other things. Again, this is all just my opinion. I'm not giving advice here. But anything that's not levered, you don't want to be levered to the dollar or the debt markets, in my opinion. And as things break down around the world, which I do expect, because again, I think the dollar's in trouble, there'll be a flood into places like Ecuador that offer relative safety and relative stability compared with, with these sort of hyper bubbles that the Fed has created or central banks around the world have created. I'm a big fan of Mike Maloney's work. I'm a big fan of Gregory Manarino's work. Gerald Celente has an amazing track record. These guys understand the story, understand what's going on, and many others, of course, as well. For the trends, also, I follow Cliff High a lot on YouTube. He's been accurately predicting trends for a very long time, as has Gerald Celente. There's our excellent, trend predictors in the marketplace. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on investing, and yeah. Out here in a neighborhood they call Hipiro Alto. See the river there. I own a big property back here, and there's also actually a couple of properties that are for sale here. It's really a beautiful area. It's like right against thousands of hectares of protected forest, so the air, water, soil as well is incredible in this area. It's one of the last undeveloped areas that are still in the valley of Loja. You can see how beautiful some of the land is there. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, I think we're coming up. My property starts right there on the left, but I think we're coming up to this one that's for sale. So is it here? No, it's a little further. Yeah, it is right here. Yep. So you can see the river down there. And then, yeah, so yeah, that's a property I own over there, big one. And then this one is like a hectare here. It's got the river, very nice. And it's got this old house that would be a sweet little rehab project. It's on the website, all this, but nice little property. Definitely a cool area to live in as well. There you can see some beehives that we have. We have about 50 currently. So this is the property here that you're looking at. I'm off the property, but this is the tomate arbol. You can't really see it that well, but it's just about a hectare, about 10,000 plants. And then it's a little piece of the property here. In the future, this is going to be about 40 hectares of organic agriculture, tons of fruit trees by the river, and eventually a thriving, sort of luxurious but off-grid, self-sufficient community. That's what I'm most excited about. I'm going to do a healing center, spa, farm-to-table restaurant, etc. So this is a little commercial area in Loja. This is close to the Mayorista, which is one of the two main markets in Loja. This is like a couple of blocks behind the market. And it's like there's very distinct... Ecuador is a very class-conscious society. And there's like places where you go that are priced at a certain level, like better prices, and are more look like this. And then there's like sort of Home Depot style type stores, right? Like modern stores, which generally speaking have much worse prices, interestingly enough. So I'm looking for a couple of things in this area. Yeah, Loja on a cloudy late morning Thursday. But yeah, this is a typical for Loja in these sort of not as nice neighborhoods, or not as upscale. This is like a more sort of lower end commercial type neighborhood. This is the backside of the market. You can kind of see a little bit there. Good place to buy stuff. Ecuador has fairly steep import taxes, but it's a culture of saving money. People do not spend their money, they save their money. You'll see very wealthy people looking very not wealthy. That's like a very common thing here. Can't tell you how many guys I've been out on their property. They've showed me 4 or 5 properties, and I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's got $2, $3, $4 million worth of property, and looks like he's poor, like legitimately poor. Again, this is still the backside of the market here. Sorry, I'm trying to drive and film. So yeah, what I was saying, if I can remember, was so Ecuador has fairly steep import taxes, which makes certain things expensive, but people are very into saving money and getting the best deal and that sort of thing. So there's lots of areas where, regardless of import taxes, regardless of anything, you've got very affordable, very inexpensive merchandise for sale. And these sorts of areas that I'm in now, it definitely would fit that bill. Barbershop. This is El Parque del Valle. This restaurant's really good. I had some soup there. You might have seen another video. I stopped by to have it again. Have some usually more like traditional restaurants here. They do like the gallina criolla in that place there. This one I haven't eaten at, but also looks like a more traditional restaurant. And then Zarza, which is a bar. A guy from Texas, really cool guy, Greg, owns a bar like 1 block that way. Does all sorts of artisanal home brewed. He brews all his own beer. Do nice bar food and stuff like that as well. My lovely friend in Selma, who actually just recently hired to help me with some agricultural projects. This is like a Peruvian style ceviche shrimp, and I'm having this soup that I love. Interesting. She was just telling me a little bit about her opinions on the virus and the vaccine and masks and things like that. And yeah, sure, her and her kids are definitely not going to get vaccinated, and she thinks that it's all just kind of government plan to make people slaves type of thing. So really interesting. That's definitely not the she's in the minority. Most people do not look at it like that in Ecuador, but some people do, I guess. Okay, we're heading out and drop in Selma where she lives, and head to Vilcabamba for a meeting. Learn about, what do they call it? DeFi? Yeah, I think it's DeFi it's called. So that'll be super interesting. I'll probably film a little bit there. Loja is up around 6,500 feet in elevation, so significantly cooler than Vilcabamba, Malacatos, and those areas. Also gets quite a bit more rain. There's no dry season in Loja, so if you're looking for heat, Loja's not it. I mean, Loja's warmer than Cuenca, and it's by quite a bit, and a lot warmer than Quito, but quite a bit cooler than Vilcabamba, Malacatos. And you still get a good amount of sun in Loja, but you definitely have some cloudy days as well. And yeah, because Vilcabamba, Malacatos, those are like right around 5,000 feet in elevation, so you come up about 1,500 feet, even a little more in some places, obviously. And it gets a bit cooler, and you get a little bit more rain. A little bit more clouds as well. Just a different climate, but very comfortable climate, Loja. Especially if you don't like heat, which a lot of people don't. So. Loja is a small city. It's getting bigger for sure. So yeah, I mean, when I got here in 2013, here, I'll go this way and show you guys La Pileta. When I got here in 2013, it was definitely smaller and had no traffic whatsoever. You could park anywhere, very few traffic lights. And since I've been here, it's grown a lot. There's a little bit of traffic now, nothing crazy at all, but you know, once in a while you sit in traffic for a minute. Pretty rarely, but once in a while. And many more traffic lights, many more cops, less parking. It's much prettier than it was when I got here. They did a whole regeneration project. So much of it now is very pretty as far as, not this part, because this the regeneration project was just in the center. But anyways, we're about to head through what they call La Pileta here. That's a nice hotel there, Sonesta. And this is a very popular hangout on the weekends. A lot of restaurants, bars, nightclubs. Don't know how well things are doing now with all the craziness, unfortunately. Sushi place there on the right. And, you know, it's a small city, Loja. There's about 250,000 people. Everybody knows each other, like everybody. It's absolutely incredible how deep those familial connections run. Yeah, this is 24 Mayo. Looks like they got some new stuff going on there. Things here open up later in the day, like the restaurants and stuff. They kind of try to hit like when school gets out. Of course, school is virtual now in Ecuador, so I don't know. These places must be hurting. And oh yeah, so here they did do the regeneration, right? So you can see like the bike lanes and the sidewalks and street lights. Everything's underground. New sewer system. New everything. Out here hanging with good friend Buddha.
Hey, how you doing?
Out in San Joaquin, just got done. Buddha does this incredible, like, conscious touch healing stuff, and really one of the amazing things about Vilcabamba is just the number of alternative healers that exist in Vilcabamba. Buddha being one of the best, but it's really a place where if you're into different healing modalities, you know, non-mainstream healing modalities, it's really an incredible place to live. Just finishing up lunch here at UFO, a little falafel place in town. A couple of friends learning about cryptos. What do they call it? This is like the third time that I forgot the name.
Decentralized finance?
DeFi, decentralized finance. You guys don't know about it. Wow, super interesting. I think we may start financing projects that way. But check it out. Really fascinating world. Here in Vilcabamba, sun's just popping through. Here at the park, the Coliseo, my daughter's doing karate class. Bunch of kids. And, yeah, just picking her up. Looks like there's a soccer practice going on over here. It's a really good community, really good group of parents. Just awesome people. It's actually a mango tree right there.